What's up guys, Chris here, and today we'll be showcasing 5 different Gunlance builds that deal an absurd amount of damage, serve different purposes in multiplayer and solo play, and along with one comfy build for survivability, depending on your preference, you will be optimized for all of the tough fights to come. This video's script and builds were made by HC, who will also be showcasing the prowess of these builds in the background gameplay. Unlike previous iterations of the weapon, the Gunlance's damage in wilds now scales with raw attack. This means that once you've obtained the core essential skills, Artillery 3 for more shelling damage and faster revive and fires, Load Shells 2 for extra shell in our ammo clip, we can begin to focus on maximizing our raw attack skills. Gunlance combo mainly focuses on its shelling damage, such as the new Wormstick full burst combo and hard-hitting double vibrant fire that deal upon thousands of damage in an instance. Therefore, skills that only increase affinity for more crits are not as essential compared to other weapons. You might have already seen from plenty of Gunlance speedruns that 2 main raw attack skills that are almost always maxed out are Agitator and Burst. At max level, Agitator 5 gives you an additional 20 attack when the monster is enraged, and Burst at level 1 gives you 8 raw attack as you continuously attack a monster. It increases by 2 raw per level until you reach level 5 that gives you 3 more raw, and that comes at a total of 18 raw. Apart from that, depending on the build's leftover deco slots, you can choose to fill in remaining slots with more skills that can increase raw, such as Ambush that grants you 15% for 30 seconds, or Counter-Strike, which at level 3 grants you 25 raw if you get knocked back by a monster for 45 seconds. You can even fit in levels of Earplugs 2 to 3 depending on the matchup. As the only monsters in Wilds version 1.0 that require Earplugs 3 are Jindahad and Gormagala's Phase Change Roar, Earplugs 2 works for almost every other monster, and considering that monsters roar and enrage very often, this grants you huge openings to pull off your highest damage combos. Of course, there's other utility skills apart from these, but these are the ones that we highly recommend. Now that we've established the core skills, let's move on to the builds. The first build on our list is an all-rounder mix set that is fantastic in any situation. It comes with the Ebony Auto set bonus at level 1, which grants us an additional 3 raw when Burst is active, and Jindahad's 2-piece set bonus that grants us 25 raw after a successful power clash, escape from pin, or webbed and frostblight statuses for 1 minute. Another set bonus that comes with the Jindahad set is Lord's Fury. That gives you Resuscitate, which grants you an additional 10 raw whilst you're afflicted by an elemental blight. You may notice that in the Gunlance's weapon slots, there's a magazine attack deco and a focus 1 deco, both of which are interchangeable depending on your playstyle. But we found that focus 1 gives you the utility to be able to use the charged shell attacks off the Gunlance more efficiently, and it even charges up the vibrant fire gauge a lot quicker. The advantage of this build is that it's a good middle ground for most monster matchups and can adapt accordingly. The next build is a very specialized set that's tailored to doubling down on the Jindahad set bonus, interacting with power clashes and pin escapes. When maxed out at level 2, Jindahad's Revolt goes up from 25 raw to a whopping 50 when activated. It drastically increases your damage after recovering. What kind of monster matchup power clashes and pins you in a single hunt anyways? Well, it's the most popularly farmed endgame monster, of course, Arkveld. This armor set is built to do well in a solo hunt against Arkveld, not only equipped with Jindahad's 4-piece set bonus, but Resuscitate comes handy when inflicted by Dragonblight as well. Once you've successfully fended off Arkveld's power clash or flashed or dung potted to escape his pin, you'll notice a drastic increase in your damage. However, we'd highly recommend this build to be used mainly for solo hunts or organized groups, as it's a lot easier to guarantee power clashes compared to casual multiplayer. Of course, there are other monsters in the game that this build can deal well against as well, but Arkveld is simply the most valuable endgame monster due to its parts trading for highly valued smelting ores, and as a tempered monster, it gives a hefty amount of RT and weapon shards. The third build we're featuring is a 4-piece Ebony Autogaron armor set. The armor set bonus at level 2 allows you to increase the previously small increment of 3 raw at level 1 to a larger increase of 10 raw whilst Burst is active. Although this armor set doesn't exactly hit the hardest, its main advantage over the other builds is that it isn't dependent on power clashes and other conditional situations that maintain damage uptime. Also, because not every monster in the game has power clashes or pins, this makes this armor set one of the best consistent options against a wide array of monsters. Another noteworthy advantage is that just with the Ebony pieces, Dahad's legs and Challenger Charm 2 in this build, you're already capable of reaching max level of Burst and 4 levels of Agitator, and with level 2 deco slots to spare. We highly recommend this build as a much more accessible build to newcomers and experienced players alike. And now for the hardest hitting builds on our list, a Heroics 5 set that is a high risk, high reward situation, suitable for endgame fights under 2 minutes with a proper setup and strategy. This set utilizes the armor skill Heroics 5. When you're dangerously low on HP, you gain a massive damage boost of 30% raw. How you can gain heroics very easily in a hunt is by equipping a corrupted mantle and then bombing yourself with a mega barrel bomb and allow the mantle to drain your HP below the threshold required to activate heroics. To further increase its damage, we use Counter-Strike Charm 3 that grants us 3 levels of Counter-Strike right off the bat once you've bombed yourself, and 3 levels of Ambush to further push your damage to the extreme. This build is by far the riskier build to use, but its damage highly pays off in speedrun settings if you're willing to use it. And lastly, the final build on our list is a lifesteal build that, although it's the weakest amongst them all in terms of DPS, it makes up for it by taking advantage of the armor set bonus Arkveld's Hunger. It heals your HP as you continuously attack a monster. You can pair this with 3 levels of Divine Blessing or Recovery Up in level 1 slots to maximize survivability. Couple this with some other utility skills and you're good to go. This build is fantastic for those that want to stay in the fight without having to sheath or drink potions, and it still covers most of Gunlance's core skills. Be warned though that this armor set comes with Diversion, which draws the monster's attention to you more in a hunt. But with the right survivability skills and careful play, you should be doing just fine. Apart from that, keep in mind that this is the lowest DPS set on our list. It may not suit everybody, but it makes up for it by being a very comfy pick, and I know a lot of you guys want that. And there you have it. That concludes HC's top 5 picks for Gunlance in Wilds version 1.0. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, we would appreciate if you subscribe. These videos take us a lot of time to make, and the subscribing takes you guys like 1 second. So that would help us tremendously. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned for more build videos, especially with the new updates coming out, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.